I will admit that I am slightly more into Twitter than I am to Facebook. That said, I do know my way around Facebook well enough to know about the very popular game on Facebook right now called Mafia Wars. The goal of Mafia Wars is essentially to form your own virtual organized crime ring and make it as big and powerful as you can. So big and powerful that you're able to control cities like New York or Moscow or Bangkok. In order to get a big and powerful virtual mob in this game, you need to recruit lots of mobsters to join you. And because you can play this game on Facebook, the way that you grow your mafia is by recruiting friends from within your network to join your gang. The more mafia members you have, the more powerful your mafia, the more levels you're able to advance in the game. You get the idea. Here's the thing, though. Hiring extra mafia members or getting better weapons for those members takes reward points in the game. And you can get those points a few different ways. One is by completing different mafiosa-type jobs in the game. Another way is by actually coughing up some real currency out of your own pocket. And then there's a third way. Advertisers will give you virtual money to spend in Mafia Wars or other games in exchange for stuff like trying their products or clicking through their endless intrusive surveys. And for all the hassle factor, it does end up being sort of a win-win. In exchange for some of your time, privacy, hassle factor, etc., you get more points in the game, allowing you to go from underboss to boss or trade up to a Tommy gun or whatever. The companies who pay an advertising firm to set this up, they get your information and your attention. And the advertising company that's matching you up with these companies, they of course get paid. One blunt way to look at this is that gamers are being bribed with things that they want in the online world in order to provide stuff that's valuable in the real world to advertisers or to people who want to stop health reform? Yeah. The website Business Insider is now reporting that bribing people with virtual currency, like the fake gaming mafia money, it's being used by the health insurance industry as a way to generate letters of opposition to health reform. So letters are being written not by people who are necessarily motivated by being opposed to health reform, but by people who are motivated by wanting more mafia points. People who really just want to be boss instead of underboss. Online ads promising free virtual currency redirect gamers to a website called GetHealthReformRight.org. To get the mafia money, people fill out a survey that automatically sends an email to their member of Congress, which reads in part, quote, "I'm concerned a new government plan could cause me to lose the employer coverage I have today." Who's behind GetHealthReformRight.org? Well, it's a coalition of 10 insurance industry groups, including the Association of Health Insurance Advisors, America's Health Insurance Plans, American Benefits Council, Blue Cross Blue Shield Association. You get the idea. This isn't just happening on Facebook. You might have noticed just browsing online that some of the most annoying but nevertheless persistent online ads are the ones that say things like, click here to get your free reward at Kmart. Those types of ads with prompted click-throughs are yet again, according to the Associated Press today, leading to GetHealthReformRight.org. Just fill out the survey and presto changeo, you've not just been made to think that you're one step closer, not only just been made to think that you're one step closer to your reward at Kmart, you are also a virtual opponent of health reform. The insurance industry coalition that is behind GetHealthReformRight.org tells the Associated Press that they are surprised to learn about how these ads work. They say that they have not knowingly had anything to do with this. The AP reports today that this may also be happening on the pro-health reform side by the American Medical Association's Patient Action Network. We called the AMA for comment on that today. They told us this was not something they bought and paid for. They said, quote, "The AMA has strict guidelines that prohibit providing incentives of any kind in exchange for someone taking action, such as sending a letter to Congress." As members of Congress try to get health reform done by Christmas, coming up soon, they're, of course, trying to take the temperature of the public about all of the various issues up for debate. How much of what they're actually hearing from constituents is real, and how much it is the result of these online read the fine print borderline scams, we do not know. The Health Insurance Coalition, for its part, says it has sent Congress nearly 2 million anti-health reform letters and emails just since the summer. That works out to roughly 4,600 emails and letters for every single member of Congress and senator. 2 million letters and emails. And nobody can say how many of those were from people who just thought they were getting coupons to Kmart or who no longer wanted to be a lowly street thug in Mafia Wars. Joining us now is Dan Porter. He is CEO of the online gaming website OMG Pop. He's been sort of the whistleblower on this latest fake grassroots health reform scandal. Dan, thanks very much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
First of all, how were you able to figure out what was going on here? How did you spot it?
Well, a lot of these people approach me as they do any of the game makers, and they say, I can help you make money from your audience. And for the audience that doesn't want to pay with a credit card, they, as you mentioned, have their attention and their time and their personal information they want to sell. There's always people looking to take advantage of that. And before I use any of these on my site, I try them out myself. So I tried this one out myself. I clicked through endless things, and finally I found one that said, do you want to get health reform right? And I thought, sure, who doesn't want to get health reform right? And I'll click that, and then I'll get my so-called rewards. But when I started to look at the fine print and then take the URL and type it in and do some more research, it seemed a little more nefarious to me. And the more I kind of researched around, the deeper I found them kind of embedded into all of these different spammy, scammy type of things. And as such, I kind of started talking about it.
Well, in the reporting that has followed your spotting this, no one's owned up to actually arranging this. Nobody's owned up to being the person who connected this coalition to these consumers, and certainly the coalition is not owning up to wanting to do this at all. Is it possible that this is happening without their knowledge?
I think it's only possible in the sense that you're the coalition and you pay some middleman to go out and get you emails. You might pay a penny an email, and you say, look, I don't need to know exactly how it happens, but they didn't go to a Madison Avenue middleman to kind of buy upfront TV and banner ads. They went to kind of one of the underbelly of the web type middleman, and that person put it all over the place, and all that person did was take their penny or two per email and share it along the path with everybody else.
So you're saying that there are, forgive the phrase, unskeevy ways to approach this, essentially the same group of people, unskeevy ways to approach people who might have the same incentives driving them online or might be interested in the same things online, but it wouldn't be through some shady middleman that nobody can identify and everybody disowns.
Yeah, I mean, if they just said, hey, who wants to send a letter to their congressman, nobody would click through. So they've got to kind of bribe you with this Kmart and bribe you with this other type of stuff in the games, and people want stuff, so they do it.
If you were the health insurance industry and you had this goal of sending a ton of letters to Congress, 2 million letters and emails they say they've generated to Congress, how would you do it online?
Well, I mean, you think about it, if I paid a penny per each of those, that's, 20 grand for 2 million. That's not that bad. I could probably send 10 million in the same type of way, because there are infinite number of people online who want something, who will do anything that doesn't involve a credit card to get it. So for them, it was actually probably pretty cheap. I'm guessing a penny. Even at 2 pennies, it was pretty cheap. And you just kind of proliferate in search results, in email, and all those types of things.
Provided that you don't care about A, your reputation, B, being accountable for what you do, or C, making sure that the communications you are providing to Congress actually have anything to do with the wishes of the people who are sending those wishes.
Exactly. And, the health insurance companies and the people who lobby this, they don't really care, probably understand how all this stuff works online. They just know they're going to get a lot of emails.
I care. And you do too. And thank you for blowing the whistle on it and for talking us through it tonight, Dan. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Dan Porter is the CEO of a company called OMG Pop.